We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. We're going to give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Play. So let's take a look at who's on the show here with us for today. All right, with us we got James Clark with us, Jovan Burts, Brian Bitler, and Jay Briggs. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. We got Briggs, Burts, Bitler, Clark, and then I will close this one out. All right, action here from college football. Head into a huge weekend. Divisional series from baseball, best of 5, begin tomorrow with 4 games. Of course, we've got big cards from college football. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We'll have some baseball coverage for you as well here. Get into some weekend as well. And we're going to get this one underway. Let's welcome in Jay Briggs. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Bring him in right now. Of course, catch him in the mornings. And we're going to roll with Jay. Jay, what's happening?
Tony T, what's happening?
It's going great. All right, your boys are going to lead it off here. Rangers and Orioles headed off in game number 1 of this best of 5 divisional series. Orioles, been a long time since we've seen them in the postseason. Rangers been here before in recent years, and within your lifetime at least. I can't say that for the Orioles.
2016, 2012.
Yeah, that's right. He's seen them. All right, but we're going to be looking here a little differently in this game, but we'll just get you the numbers here. Orioles favored in game 1, -145. We see the total sits at 8, but you're looking at this one series-wide.
Yeah, I'm looking at the series, Tony. No surprise. I am taking my Texas Rangers in this series, and I think they have a legitimate shot to go ahead and beat these boys. Here's why. Will it be a hell of a series? Yes, the O's had the best record in the American League. They had a hell of a season. But I have been one that's had concerns about Baltimore all season, and I think we're about to see some of their problems come to the forefront. Straight up, the Rangers offensively are just a better team, and offensively the Rangers just get it going. And I think that plays a huge part in why I like them. We know that they can absolutely light it up in home runs this year. Texas Rangers 233, Baltimore Orioles 183. Runs 881 to 807. Baltimore got really good pitching throughout the year from Kramer, Bradish, a few other guys. But like I said all season, did they have great regular season production? Yes. I have concerns about these guys when we come postseason, and especially against an offense like this Texas Rangers offense that has been elite all year. Can they be inconsistent in spots? Definitely. But if they hit the baseball the same way we saw them get to Tampa, who has a really good pitching staff, and I think Baltimore is the deeper team, but when we're looking at just top-end talent, I think the Rangers are the better team. I think they have the better offense, and I think they have a legitimate shot to get it done. The series price is only 105, or 115 and -105. I think that's pretty telling. I think if they can steal one on the road in Baltimore, bring the series back to Texas, where they've been dominant at all season, I think they have a legitimate shot to win it outright. I'm going to take them here in this series. I think we're going to get Houston Astros, Texas Rangers in the ALCS.
All right, we got Jay here. Rangers to win best of 5 ALDS here against the Orioles. You can see there. I think he'll be attending game 3 there in Dallas, Arlington area. Yeah, we were looking here at Dunning here to start game 1. Of course, Jordan Montgomery with that masterpiece in the postseason. Eovaldi, a little shaky when he came back from injury, but he's rounding into form at the right time. You're probably only going to need 3 pitchers in this series. I don't see them going to Heaney. Gray has been banged up a little bit. Of course, your bullpen, you're always going to have to see. This is the part here where you're going to have to sweat it out because it's been an issue with the Rangers for most of the season, except when they came off the All-Star break, right? Off the All-Star break, they had a good couple of weeks there out of the pen. Chapman, Leclerc, Smith in there, Stratton, Burke in there. An issue there. Of course, when we kind of look here at Baltimore, they took a bad break here as their guy Bautista. It's going to be Tommy John surgery for him. He's out of this one. Of course, with the Orioles starting rotation, Bradish, Kramer, the question is who's going to be that third starter. Will it be Means? We know it's not going to be Gibson. There's no Gibson. You don't want to see him. He's probably a long reliever. So I think it's come between Means and Rodriguez. And I think this is where it gets a little dicey here for the Orioles when you get to that number 3.
Exactly, and I think that's where it hurts the most, especially against an offense like this Rangers team. You brought up the Texas Rangers I think that tomorrow it's probably going to be Dunning Heaney. I think they probably go about 4-4, probably something like that. I think we see Heaney tomorrow. I don't think Dunning goes all the way. Game 2 is going to be Monty Montgomery, who's been absolutely dealing recently. Like, he's on fire. Like you said, Evo, playoff Evo, man. We know what he does in the playoffs, man. He's been on fire since he was with the Red Sox. Had a really good outing yesterday. Rumblings that Scherzer could be back. This rotation. Yeah, rumblings that Scherzer could be back. He pitched at batting practice today. I haven't heard word yet on how it went, but it's as of before today, it was looking really good that he could be back in the fold. So it's going to be a really interesting series. I don't trust this Baltimore's rotation. That's where it starts. That's where my doubts start. I don't trust the rotation for the Baltimore O's. They had a really good regular season. Kramer, Rodriguez, the whole crew. But when we think of the top-end rotations in baseball, we do not think of the Baltimore O's. And I think that's kind of what is going to get them in trouble here in this series against a great offense.
All right. Of course, looking here at Dunning on the hill, we knew his troubles coming in was pitching on the road, but so far so good for Dunning. If you go back and look at his splits, I mean, there was just horrible road pitcher the last 3 seasons, excluding this one. But he started out of the bullpen, and then, of course, with the injuries there, with the Texas suffered some huge injuries there to some 2 frontline pitchers. He was forced into action. He got a few starts on the road. He seemed to get rid of that road suckness, and he seemed to be pitching not better.
Yeah, I think that Baltimore has to get this game tomorrow with Dunning on the mound. I think that's their best chance. If they drop game 1 and then Monty comes out there with how hot he is, I think they're in trouble. I think they're in real trouble. So I think this is what I'm saying. I love the plus price we're getting with the Rangers in game 1. I think that's where the value is, but I would not be surprised if Baltimore got it done because they have to come out at home and get game 1 against what is probably the Rangers. I like Dunning, but he's out of the starting rotation right now. He's the what's the word I'm looking for? He's not the best.
He's the one you got to sweat about. You got to worry about there. Of course, there are 2 days off, which is interesting in this series. In both series, they're going to play game 1 and then take it. Actually, it works the other way around, right? It's the DS that gets the extra day off, right? They get the day off for the travel day. So interesting to see how this one will play out here. It really helped the Dodgers in their situation because they have to use a lot of bulk relievers the way it's going right now. So we have Jay here on the Rangers to win the ALDS. Plus 105 I think it'll be an interesting series. How many games does this go?
Tony, I'm going to say 4. I'm going to say Rangers win it in 4. If I had to call it right now, Baltimore wins game 1, Rangers win the next 3. Honestly, I think that's how it goes. But I think the Rangers have a legitimate shot to win tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, game 1, then I think Baltimore's really in trouble. So I'm saying 4. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say Rangers in 4 right now.
Rangers in 4 there. And of course, the big question mark is how would the Rangers bullpen do in this series?
That's the $1 million question. The thing that I do like is we do have guys that started games and pitched real innings now in that bullpen. Guys like Martin Perez, guys like Andrew Heaney. Chapman, every time he gets on the mound, I hold my breath, but he is a veteran, and we have seen him look good in certain spots. Leclerc, same thing with him, man. He make my heart pump every time. So we'll see, and that's what I'll say. I think that's the weakest part of this Rangers team is that bullpen, and we'll see if the guys can log some innings to minimize how much damage.
Yeah, that's where it comes. If Dunning and Heaney can give you a combined 7, you're in good shape. If Valdi gives you 7, Montgomery gives you 7, I think the 7 is where you want to get to.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. I think between Dunning and Heaney, game 1, I think they got to go 7. And like you said, I think Monty has been going 7, so I feel pretty good about him doing that. And then I trust playoff Evo as well. So,
yeah, and not to mention you can even stretch them out even more if you have to, right? I mean that's we're playoff baseball now, and they can go 8 if you got to get them 9, and then maybe to a closer if they get in trouble there. That's how you roll with it. So we got their Orioles win series. All right, I got to ask Jay some of these college football questions. He does a lot of NFL coverage. Good to get him here with the college football. I'm sure being in Texas, they threw this at you every year. It's the game. We hear about it, right? Oklahoma and Texas. It never got to Jerry's World though, because of fair, right? I always thought maybe that this series had a shot at making it Jerry's World. Didn't get there, but we see Oklahoma here, dogs here. Texas big favorites here, 5.5 total, 60.5.
Now, this game is huge, man. It's been quite some time where both teams come in undefeated. This is what I think. I think as of right now, with my eye test, I think Texas is the best team in the country. I do. I think they're better than Georgia. I think they're better than Michigan. But this game always has a different spin on it. And with that being said, I think Oklahoma is criminally underrated. I mean, they're 5-0 and still only sitting at 12. This game scares the living shit out of me, is what I'm going to say. Pure fandom, hook 'em. But do I feel comfortable laying the points in this football game? I do not. I think Texas is the better football team. I think they're more sound all around the field. But I just think that this is a 3 to 4 point ball game. That's how I feel.
It's due in part to the improvement we've seen with Oklahoma's defense, right?
Correct. That has been the biggest surprise to me this year thus far, is just how good that their defense has played. I didn't think Oklahoma was going to be that good this year. But they've surprised me thus far. And like I said, I still think they're underrated, only listed at 12 currently.
Yeah, because you usually get like a defensive guy in there. You see the opposite, right? Kind of, you'll see, okay, where the offense goes, here comes the defense, right? They were going to look like last year at LSU with the previous coach. It was going to be defense, and then, one of those, win games like 24-21, be on the wrong side of low-scoring games. But no, they've been able to maintain their offensive efficiency, but greatly improve the defense, which is, doesn't happen enough. It doesn't happen enough in college football.
Yep, we've seen them hold teams that, usually we think of high-scoring teams to some low-scoring games, SMU, Cincinnati, even Iowa State, former home of Brock Purdy. These are schools that usually put up high amounts of points. Real test this weekend against Texas. We'll see if the defense can hold pat. We know these games usually end up 45-48, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. Big game in Texas. Will it go over? Will it go under? That's the big question. A couple other games.
I can't wait.
And I know you don't like this school, but it's in Texas. Texas A&M hosting Alabama. Boy, that -2.5. Now -2 in some places with Alabama on the road. Can you picture A&M, a good team this year? Of course, Max Johnson, the backup, is in. Will a real Max Johnson show up in this game? What's going to happen here? Alabama favored here on the road, but only 2 in Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'm down on both of these two teams this year. That's the thing. But what I will say is, in hindsight, the Alabama loss to Texas isn't that bad. I just told you guys, I think Texas is the best team in the nation. So did they have problems with Milroe at quarterback? Yes, but as I always say, man, Texas A&M always finds a way to lose football games, man. They just always do. And when I saw them step up and play a big boy in Miami, I did not like what I saw from them boys at all. No. It's hard for me to want to trust them against Alabama, who is fighting for their life for the season. They can't afford another loss. I got to roll with the Crimson Tide on the road now.
Yeah, it's to me it's hard to play. They know Max Johnson. This is remember, there's a reason why you go to team to team to team. Right? There's a reason why. Game there. What's happened to Baylor? Right? We expected more from Baylor, the good coach over there. They're hosting here at Texas. Tech is favored on the road to Baylor 1.5.
Yeah, that is a very interesting game. Texas Tech has been my nemesis all year. Burnt me week 1, burnt me week 2. They had opportunities to cover both of those games. I've really been off them since. Based off the eye test, what I've seen from both these two teams, though, I do think Texas Tech is the better team. I do understand why they're favored on the road. That Baylor team, man, it's one of the worst Baylor teams I've seen in recent memory. They played, was that UCF last week and came back and got them? Yeah, so they did look fairly good last week, but I think there may be value fading them now after such a huge win like that last week.
All right, I think this is the mid-major game. I know people are saying Fresno State, Wyoming. Wyoming's offense sucks too much to call it the mid-major. This is the mid-major game of the week. Texas State at Louisiana. I like this one a lot. Louisiana laying 2 here against Texas State, the team with transfers that has surprised people. Even Baylor surprised that Baylor team.
Yep. I have keyed in on Texas State early this year too. I think while I do lean Texas State, I think the best place in this game is just go over, man. I think we see points. Both teams, I think, can score the football. Both teams' defense I have concerns about. Track meet. Lean Texas State, but I think track meet over.
Yeah, track meet over there. That to me, that one is the mid-major game of the week. I know some people are shouting this for us. I don't like Wyoming's offense. I mean, they're just hard. I mean, the quarterback runs. All he does is run. That's not exciting enough. I think these two offenses are pretty good in that game between we talked about here, Texas State and Louisiana. All right, Jay, I can't let you go unless we talk about Niners and Cowboys, right? That's the game of the week. It's been, Niners have been a nemesis here. We know that. It's we see the line right now holding 3.5. Will it come down to 3? Will it go to 4? Total sits at 45.
Yeah, man. I'm taking the boys. I'm probably going to take them straight up money line. Is it a little emotional? Maybe. But I honestly believe that this game just means too much for this franchise for them to go up there and lay an egg. This is the team that has put us out the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and the 49ers is a real measure stick game. I think I currently have the 49ers the number 1 team in the NFL, but I still think Dallas is slightly better. The only reason I have them there is because we did see Dallas lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Here's my thought process. Here's how I think the game plays out. I think Dallas can create some pressure like we've seen them do a lot this year. I think Purdy becomes a little uncomfortable. I think maybe there's a turnover late. It's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. But getting the Dallas Cowboys plus 3.5, I think is a solid place to be. This is a team that is very good ATS, especially as a dog. Do they usually fall flat against the Niners? All the fucking time. All the time. I'm sorry, but they do. But I honestly think this game has weight. I think we see Dak Prescott step up when it means most. I think they can pull this one out straight up on the money line on the road. So
how do you defend McCaffrey?
McCaffrey, I think he's been. If the season ended right now, I would give the MVP trophy to Christian McCaffrey. First running back in quite some time. What he did last week, 4 touchdowns, was crazy. Was it 4? Was it 4? Was it 3 or 4? He could have had another one. He almost had another one. That Purdy ended up getting it. But, yeah, he's on another level, man. That's been Dallas's weakness, stopping the run, but they've really invested in doing that this offseason, and we'll see if it pays dividends this week. Huge game. I think this game is going to tell us just how good both teams are and what that top of the NFC really looks like. Top 3 teams currently in the NFC: Dallas, Philly, San Francisco.
So come down to me in the red zone. Niners not 5 of 5 in the red zone. I know it was Arizona, but man, you get 5 of 5 in the red zone against the NFL team. You got to tip your cap. That's going to be the challenge here. Stop them in the red zone. I'll make it a field goal game. Yeah, and that's I think you're in a position. All right, Jay here on record. Rangers plus 105 to win LDS against Orioles. He did not pick all Texas teams out there. He did take Texas State, Louisiana over, by the way.
Yeah, man, that's killing me, but it's cool, man.
Oh yeah, you knew that was coming. This one here, the series begins tomorrow. It leads off, so have a TV ready because you want to watch these playoffs. All right, Jay, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Stream for tonight's action. Of course, we got 2 on the board from college football, and then we're heading into a monster weekend of games. Right, we're heading into NFL, college football, 4 playoff games tomorrow. It's a big weekend of action. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Tonight, I have my college football play of the night. We cashed last night with who did we have last night? I forgot who we had last night.
The Bears, or who was it?
No, it wasn't the Bears. It was college football. It was
Liberty faced somebody. Sam Houston, your boy, is in Texas again. Covered.
It was. I didn't have Sam Houston yesterday. They made me so mad the week before. The way they did not cover. I had Western Kentucky last night. That's right. But tonight, I got my college football play of the night. I absolutely love that play tonight. You guys can hop on that. And then, of course, man, we got a ton of action tomorrow. It's a great weekend of sports, man, all across the board. Baseball playoffs, college football, NFL. So I'm going to have a mixture of all of that over the weekend. So I bought a 3-day pass. Let's make some money this weekend. And continue stacking units over at Pick Dogs Premium.
Indeed, Zach Units indeed. Get on board Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs Premium. This is Friday. You guys love those 3-day passes. Get on board. We got the baseball, we got NFL, we got college football. Huge weekend of action. So get on board with Jay. Pick is a promo code. Save that 15% off. Multi-capper promotion offers great value. All right, Jay, as always, great having your show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week, but we can catch up with you here on the weekend shows. You got the NFL rundown. Lots going on over at Pick Dogs.
Yeah, ton of content from me here, man. From the morning shows to hosting the weekend shows to the afternoon shows, man. I do a ton of content. NBA on the horizon, man. It's on the horizon. I cannot wait to get that back, guys. So, ton of content from me here. Catch me in the morning as I bring in all the guys, man. Talking some college football, man. It's a pretty decent card tomorrow. I know we're gonna make some money. I think the last few live shows, I think we've been positive units if you just bet the free play. So, a ton of great content on the weekend shows. I think all these guys that are here right now, finna come up after me, will be joining me tomorrow. So I can't wait to talk with all those. Brian, Jovan. Need to see James pop up on the weekend.
James up on the weekend. There you go. Indeed, that's right, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when that live show drops, you're there with them. Remember the early start time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. They got to get the picks in before the big kickoff. Before the big kickoff, it has to happen. And okay, so one last one. I know you're a fan of prime time. We see that line only 3.5, but 100-degree weather there in Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State has been terrible. I think that there's value on Colorado simply because I know they've lost 2 games in a row, but what I look at is they've lost to 2 top 10 teams in the nation 2 games in a row. And we saw them damn near come back and compete. Was it against second stringers? Kind of, maybe. I don't think offensively Arizona State is going to be able to hang with Colorado. I think Colorado will be able to move the football. We'll see if them boys can cover. I'm pulling for them to do so, and I think they do so. I got them winning 6 or 7 games this year. This one's circled as a win. See if they can pull it out on the road.
There you go from Jay. All right, Jay. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
See you on Monday, Tony T.
You got it. Jay Briggs here on the drive through. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, we're going to bring Jovan Burts, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Putting up a good past 7 days here. We'll bring Jovan ready to roll. Jovan, what's happening? Got you on mute there, Jovan.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this weekend. Of course, Jovan, we're going to be looking here at baseball here as we're going to go back into a series here as Phillies and Braves get it started tomorrow in Game 1 at 6 Eastern time. We see the Braves, big favorites here to open it up. 2-0-2 here. Their big guy Strider on the mound against Suarez. Total 8.5. But again, you'll be looking at this one series-wide.
Yeah, now that the series is set, the 2 starting pitchers for Game 1, I'm on the Atlanta Braves for the series. So we all know what happened last year with these Philly guys. They had a magical run, went all the way to the World Series, and who did they have to get through? They got through the Braves. They won that series in the NLDS 3-1, and it was a sight to behold. But this year, we got some revenge on the menu for the Braves. The Braves didn't forget. The Braves definitely didn't forget, and they showed out in this series and during the season. 104 wins, 104-58. The Phillies, they did damn good themselves. 92-72 for the season, but just didn't do what the Braves did. And what the Braves do, and they did this to the Phillies numerous times this season, they got to them in the first inning. Matter of fact, they got to them in the late innings also when the Phillies had the lead in certain games. So you got these big boppers over there in Atlanta, and I don't think they're gonna let this one ride in this series. Ozuna, Acuna, Matt Olson, these guys, they had a bad taste in their mouth last year, and I think they're gonna get some revenge. Now on the other side, you do have Bryce Harper, you got Schwarber, you got Trey Turner, you got a boatload over there too. But batting versus pitching, I think that the Braves bats get to Phillies pitching. I don't think Aaron Nola, he's gonna have a good start in Game 3 or Game 4 in his start against the Braves. And Zach Wheeler, he's the wild card, and I think that the Braves could get to him also. So Being that this is a 5-game series, it's a damn shame that this isn't a NLCS matchup. But be that as it may, I think that the Braves get this done, if not 4, then 5 games.
All right, we got Jovan here says Braves minus 175 win ALDS here against the Phillies in 4 or 5 games. Of course, Suarez and Strider will go. Again, they will have a day off here on Sunday, so it's interesting that we'll know the Sunday off, and then they have the travel day. So a lot of time off in this. As a matter of fact, when you kind of look at the series, I kind of look at the same as the Dodgers. They played the same schedule here. 4 of the 5 games, they will be coming in with rest, so you're going to have fresh bullpens in 4 of the 5 games. I think the difference here is Game 4 in Philadelphia, if it goes that far, will be kind of a back-to-back spot. So you're looking at some fresh pitching, and when I'm looking at the Braves starting pitching, Fried is coming off the injured list, Morton's coming off the injured list. Although their bullpen seems to be okay right now, but there's gonna be a lot of fresh pitchers in this series.
Here's a thing about playoff baseball. All hands are on deck. So you're gonna see the number 4, number 5 pitchers in the rotation take a back seat. And they're gonna be in the relievers court, saying in the late innings. So it's not just the run of the mill relievers that's gonna be up there. You're gonna have starters going in the pinch. So you gotta keep that in mind. And in some in-game series, this is one tip that I want to give people. In-game in these series, or during the series, let's say the Braves lose Game 1, then the price drops. I'm gonna hammer them again.
Yep.
That's just the fact of the matter. I'm gonna hammer the Braves again. It lowers the price. It works. It works better in 7-game series. Don't get me wrong, but just a little tidbit. If you see the Braves lose this game, and I don't think they're gonna lose, with being that it's the Rangers Suarez and Spencer Strider matchup, I just don't see it happening. But if it does happen, I'm gonna come right back, and I'm gonna pound them again. I'm gonna pound them for Game 2, and I'm gonna pound them for the series. So that's how I'm rolling.
All right, you gotta look at that way. Of course, the starters for the Phillies: Wheeler, Nola, Taijuan Walker. Get into Sanchez, Lorenzen. You'll probably see some of these guys out of the pen. You like the Braves' chances hitting these guys?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I don't think this Braves lineup is gonna go quietly. In any shape, form, or fashion. It's not going down 2 years in a row. I lived through the Yankees Red Sox series 20 years ago. Neither team backed down. One team might have lost 1 year, but the next year, what happened? The opposite team won in dramatic fashion. No less. So it's a different dynamic in this one, because the Braves are the favorite. The Braves are the more powerful team, but they lost last year. So it's really a role reversal.
Yep, and of course the Phillies bringing in a little bit of momentum from their wild card round into this series. The layoffs, and people talk about these long layoffs. You got to understand what goes on for these teams on the layoff. They bring in prospects. They go through some what's the word they use? I forgot the word they use. When you basically have these fake games against your prospects, but your prospects are out there.
Simulation.
Yeah, simulation games, right? Yeah, so the batters, their timing's still there because they're facing prospects throwing heat at them.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, simulated games out there. So those people, layoff. Not so much, guys. They're playing these simulated games.
I don't factor that into my handicapping at all.
No, but I think they figured out how to figure that for these teams with rest. They're not complaining about it anymore. They used to complain about this a long time ago, but they don't complain about it now because they realize you can simulate these games and they can continue to get these live pitchers up there, get these prospects in there throwing against these hitters, give them about 95-mile pitches, and they'll keep their timing as long as they put the work in. Okay, that's the key.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You have so many different aspects to baseball, and this goes across all sports. The research that these guys do, game to game, these guys are looking at their last at bat as far as hitters. They're looking at Microsoft Surface or whatever that they're connected to. They're going down to the down to their clubhouse or wherever they do batter practice in the stadium. and they're taking they're taking their swings or whatever. You know what I mean? So these are the things that go on the in game, in the midst of a game. Let alone a couple of days off. Imagine what they're doing a couple of days off. All they're doing is studying.
Yeah.
They're studying the pitchers that they're gonna be facing, and likewise the pitchers are studying the batters. Trying to get little ends, little reads, of their opponent. So, really, I don't factor any of that nonsense, into my handicapping.
Yeah, don't factor it in any guys. The simulated games, they've been doing it for years now. They bring the prospects in. These guys don't mess up their timing unless they don't take it seriously. Right? That's I can understand that, but these are professionals. This is the playoffs, and there's no excuse. I don't want to hear layoff nonsense because these guys are going through these simulated games. Here we go. Braves to win ALDS. Minus 175 against the Phillies. Here it begins. All the games begin here on Saturday. Of course, Jovan, I want to get your thoughts. I know you're out in the Boston area. It's been kind of a tough time here for the Patriots. Belichick's kind of like, listen, at some point this was going to happen, right? It was going to be a tough year for them. Although they're playing the Saints today, and I don't know. This to me looks like a good side for the Patriots because I just don't have a lot of respect. I mean, a lot of trust in Carr on the road in this type of environment. But we're seeing Patriots favored a point here, low total 39.
Yeah, and looking at this game, the Patriots definitely need it. Well, both teams really need it, but the Patriots, they're on the downhill slide. This is called what it is, post Brady. Had one playoff run, not really a run because they got blown out in Buffalo, but in the wild card. But this is a team that sad to say they're in turmoil. So they really need to win, especially after going down to Big D and getting their ass handed to them. Worst loss of Bill Belichick's coaching career. And it was good old Mac Crybaby Jones's fault. So hey, listen, to me, he's just not the quarterback. He's not the quarterback of the future. They need to get rid of him. But are they going to get rid of him? I don't know. Because one thing that the Patriots are, they're cheap, and there's a $25 million price tag on Jones for next year, and they might bite on that. They don't want to pay a quarterback $200, $300 million or $250 million that type of contract. So they got a lot of thinking that that really I want them to tank. I'm a Patriots fan. I want not to say that I want them to tank, but I don't want them to have a good season. I want them to go and get a quarterback.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there. You don't have to be the worst team in football.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. So hey, they can have a down year. They play competitively. Lose a bunch of games. Get a quarterback. Kick Mac Jones, Crybaby Jones, Alabama Jones, whatever they want to call him. Yeah, get him up out of here because he's not the quarterback. He's not the quarterback of the future. Not these Patriots.
And of course there are some quarterbacks. Caleb Williams out there. There's a lot of good ones out there that can be drafted. Of course, that's the discussion. Who would you eye there in this upcoming draft? Because that's where the Patriots stand here looking for a quarterback.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of guys out there on paper, more athletic. The thing about Mac Jones is, and you saw it in the bright lights on Sunday, he gets sped up, and then he just makes the dumbest decisions ever. Like he's not athletic at all, but then you find him rolling out of the pocket and trying to, do something as if he is one of those type of quarterbacks. He's not that guy. He's a pocket passer, and they don't have the offensive line to protect him. So
or the
you
run
see
game.
him doing, you see, yeah, that also. But you see him doing things that are mind-boggling. Then you see him doing, little cheap shots, dirty plays. Yeah, I can't respect that. You know what I mean? So, hey, it's a whole lot of upheaval up here, and I hope it doesn't. But it might cost Bill Belichick his job if it keeps on going like this.
Yeah, because the owner-coach relationship. I don't know if it's strained or there was a lot of issues there with Brady there. How is that relationship between Belichick and the owner? over the years.
Well, listen, it might be strained, but then again, Bill Belichick as the GM has made Robert Kraft a whole lot of money. Let's just get that out the way by being exactly what Robert Kraft wants, being cheap, not bringing in the high price tag players into the organization. One thing that Tom Brady did up here in New England for 20 years, he covered up a lot of sores with the Patriots as far as their roster building. You know what I mean? So, having Brady and his heroics, it covered up a whole lot. Some years on the defensive end, some years on the offensive end. You had lesser talent at wide receiver, and Brady made it work. You had lesser talent some years on defense, and Brady made it work regardless. So.
Do you ever see a scenario with the Patriots when Belichick just says, "Okay, I'm just going to hold the GM. I'm going to get a coach to coach the team"? Do you ever see a scenario like that ever happening?
I think it's forced. I think it's force fed on him. Like you've seen some of the power that Bill Belichick has had in the last couple of years. It's been delegated to other guys. So case in point, you have Bill O'Brien here. That wasn't a Bill Belichick hire. That was a Robert Kraft hire. You have other guys, Matt Groh, Al Groh's son. He's involved in player personnel, right along with Bill Belichick, but nevertheless, he doesn't have full autonomy like he did in past years. So really, Bill Belichick has had some misses, both in free agency and in the draft. Maybe he's not seeing it anymore, but as far as game plans and schemes, he's still there. As a head coach. So their roster building has a lot to be left to be desired.
All right, there you go from Jovan here, getting the Patriots story coming into a big game here. I don't want to say must win. There's not, but again, we're even starting to see pick'ems now. I just see a pick'em. One of the sharp books in Vegas has that Saints Patriots at a pick'em from an opener of 2. So we're starting to see money coming in here on the Saints. No confidence vote. Patriots on their home field to pick up against Saints and Carr on the road. What are you doing? What's going on?
The heat is on.
Oh my goodness.
The heat is on. Hey, and in certain spots like last week, it used to be if you see the Patriots in a spot like that, they're gonna at least cover. But the execution on the field isn't there.
Yeah.
You can have the best game plan in the world. If you don't have the personnel to execute it, then you're dead in the water. It is what it is.
There's a pick'em right now.
I can see why the line's going the way it's going.
Wow.
Does the Patriots do the players respond?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Wow.
Or are they gonna lay it in? So, it's definitely a Patriots spot. But you gotta look at the players, and the players that are not there, Matthew Judon, Christian Gonzalez. Those are two big those are two big players that aren't gonna be there on the field. So who's gonna step up?
All right, that's a question. Interesting there. Saints and, of course, Patriots. Jovan there in Boston knows that team very well. It's for that one. All right, I'll go on record here. Jovan has Braves to win ALDS against the Phillies. All right, Jovan, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. 2 games on the board as we talked about, heading to a huge weekend of baseball, college football, and NFL. Great past 7 days. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, I got 2 plays going both in college football tonight. Both games going off. So check me out on those 2 games. If you're gonna check me out on both 2 games, then get a 3-day, get the 7-day, get the 30-day, get the yearly pass. Last year around this time in October, I was red hot, and I'm heating up right now. So with that said, jump on something long term, or match me on one of the other handicappers for the 2-for-1 capital promotional. Can't go wrong here at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed, guys. Get on board here with Jovan Burts over at Pick Dog. Great results to see over the past 7 days, and you guys love this pass on the weekends, that 3-day pass. It's a great seller. All of Jovan's premium plays, NFL, college football. We got 4 baseball playoff games on Saturday, and of course we got a couple on Sunday. And of course it's the way to roll with that 3-day pass. Pick is a promo code, save that 15% off. Multi-capper promotion, even greater value there, right? Jovan, as always, great having you show. See that success. We'll catch up with you next week, but we can always catch up on these weekend shows with Jay and company.
Oh yeah, I'll be there Saturday and Sunday like clockwork.
You got it. Check them out, Jay and Jovan and company here on the morning shows on the weekend. Like, subscribe, set notifications so when the show goes live, you're live with them. Get Jovan's picks there on the weekend. Indeed. All right, Jovan, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
Absolutely. Have a great Friday. Win. And see you on Monday.
We'll see you on Monday. Jovan Burts here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru right now. Up next, let's bring him in right now. Brian Bitler, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now. Ready to roll here with Brian as we're going to get some NFL from Brian Bitler here on our NFL segments right now. As we got 2 games on the board today, so we're going off the grid a little bit on the show today just to get you. We're going to get you plays. So we'll get in Brian here in just a second. Ready to roll with Brian. Brian, what's happening?
Oh, great to be with you on a Friday night. You know I love Fridays. It's Square Dancing Friday. I started to heat back up again after a long cold streak, 2 straight winning days off a 2-0 Thursday. So hopefully I can keep it going here on Friday and Saturday.
You must have liked Jovan's segment there.
You know what? I completely agree with Jovan. I think I might be rooting for the Phillies, but as far as from a capping perspective, I think the Braves been playing with passion all year, and they probably had one team circled, and that's getting back at the Phillies. And I think the Braves are going to take care of business in this series against the Phillies, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the way it goes.
I think the Braves better win the first 2 at home, because going to Philadelphia is not an easy place.
Be in trouble then.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want to go there down 0-2. For sure.
No, that's the scary part here. And Strider's kind of been up and down a little bit. You know, he's logged over 190 innings. We saw him skip a start, and we figured that was a smart thing to do. But we'll see if all those innings will take it. So Suarez has been in that position before, and he's been actually money in some spots. So especially against winning teams.
Experience.
Yeah, he's been money against good teams. That's, as a dog, he's been a good producer. I haven't dug it deep enough in these yet, but that one kind of got my attention there. But anyway, Eagles Rams here going head to head here. Rams getting some respect now after that. Their play at Indy, although they had to win the game twice, right? The way that one ended up. Eagles favored on the road 4, total 50.
I'll tell you what a fantastic card here for NFL Sunday that we have as far as from a betting perspective. And this play really just missed my premium list. We got the big bad Eagles coming to town 4-0, and they're just a 4-point favorite against to me, it seems like a very light line here. This game's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Against the Rams, who are 2-2. And remember, before the season started, the Rams, a lot of people thought they had maybe the worst talent in the NFL, just ahead of the Arizona Cardinals here. But this Rams team has overperformed. I think this defense should be able to get to Hurts, or at least force some turnovers here. Hurts hasn't been perfect this year. Eagles coming off a game where they almost lost outright as a 9-point favorite against Washington. Eagles' problem early is stopping the passes. They rank just 27th in football against the pass, and the Rams maybe getting Cooper Kupp back, and even if he wouldn't suit up, Rams' passing attack has been pretty potent this year. I think the Eagles take care of business as far as winning the game. I think they take it by 3. I think the cover goes to the Rams here. I think you'll get a little bit more points if you wait till kickoff.
All right, we got Brian coming here on the Rams plus the 4 here against the Eagles in this one, and a very important player on this Rams team is going to be their running back, Kyren Williams. Of course, Stafford needs a run game, especially in a game like this, because the Eagles come in full blown on him. It's going to be a lot of INTs. I'm still nervous about his INTs. That's against a team like against the Eagles. It's a big concern. But of course, Williams had that big rushing performance, 103 yards. He had that hip issue. He has been cleared to play. So Williams in the backfield at running back here. The running back out of Notre Dame was a 5th-round pick in 2022, and of course that this Notre Dame like to run the ball with Kelly there, and he has been a producer here. We saw the production come in last week.
Yeah, what a steal with Williams here, and that's where the Rams have been lacking is that running attack. Cam Akers couldn't really get it done, and I guess he got shipped off to Minnesota. But I think that'll be a real key in the game if they can run the football with Williams and open up that passing game. I think they can keep pace with the Eagles. They don't have the depth of the Philadelphia Eagles, but we're talking about covering football games, and we're out at the Rams' home stadium, and they've been playing good football. I have a feeling it's a 3-point game here, and it wouldn't shock me if the Rams beat them outright because these are the type of games that the Eagles lose.
Yeah, the Eagles, we saw them. What comes to mind is that game against Arizona last year, right? They've had those hiccups on the road where they win, but look, when they win, don't cover and look ugly winning.
Yep, we've seen that before, and definitely just like with the Dallas Cowboys in Arizona this year, usually it's the games you least expect to be close that are, and definitely the Eagles on the road. I don't like it laying more than 2.5 with the Eagles 3 points on the road.
Of course, Puka Nacua getting a lot of headlines out here. We knew about this out here on the West Coast during training camp. They were really hyping this Nacua. I know he's taking this league by storm now, but this was kind of expected if you followed the Rams training camp. Rams +4 here against the Eagles. This one have a start time 4 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Brian, let's take a look over at Pick Dodgement for tonight's action. Of course, just a couple games from college football. Brian having a great Major League Baseball season this year, as you can see. 558 units of profit, good past 24 hours. What do you have going over at the site?
I'll tell you what, tonight just one premium play. It's my Titanium playing college football. Yesterday 2-0, and the day before that a winning day. So hopefully I'm starting a little streak, and the best time to get on a streak is at the beginning of it. So make sure you head on over to pickdogs.com. Maybe pick up that 3-day pass. Already have some Saturday action up. I got a Saturday shocker play that goes off early, easy cash play as well. And soon, right after I get off here, I'll be putting my Titanium for Saturday up for sale. So 5 premium picks in total for Saturday college football, ready to sweep the board.
Sweep the board with Brian Bitler over at Pick Dodgement. Great time to get on board with Brian. We talk about that 3-day pass. It's great right now for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They get some Monday in there as well because the cappers have to have the plays in the night before, so it turns into a 4-pack. When you get that 3-pack, and of course use the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Great value there indeed. All right, Brian, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you next week, but we can always catch you up with you here on the weekend shows.
For sure. I mean, today it seems like I was anti-Philadelphia. I said take the Braves minus the 1.5 and go against the Eagles, take the Rams. But I'll be on there tomorrow. I'm going to be giving out a pick on that big Alabama Texas A&M game. So make sure everybody tune in. I'm looking forward to coming on, hanging out with all my good buddies over at pickdogs.com. Well,
since we got to here, UTSA is laying 14 on the road to Temple.
You know what? Honestly, I didn't even that game did. I have a notebook with tons of plays written down.
You're in Philadelphia.
But you know what? They're my local guys. You know what? I'm going to take the Temple Owls here. 2 touchdowns, but they've been absolutely horrible. I backed them against the Miami Hurricanes. And, boy, that one left the mark as the Hurricanes just crushed them by like around 35 points. So
I think Frank Harris is coming back, though.
Good
I think Harris is back here for UTSA. Harris was the quarterback, and he was down for a while. And man, I'll tell you, he looked. And I saw that Houston game, and man, his confidence was shattered in that game. I mean, he was really, when he threw those picks against Houston, it just looked to me like his. Remember, he's that NFL prospect. They thought this might be the mid-major guy that's going to be the prospect that's going to make the NFL. And boy, did he have a stinker there against Houston. And then he got injured. And I think he's set to return here. This is he's tweeted on the questionable. Let's take a look at Frank Harris here. The questionable tag is on him with that toe injury, and he will likely be a game-time decision. So again, Jeff Traylor
says,
this
line as high as it is. You would think that he would play this game with the line as high as it is.
Yeah, that's possible. Of course, that's a good point there. Three picks in that game against Houston. Although he did show better in that Texas State game, 70% completion rate. But he missed the game against Army. They missed the game at Tennessee. The bye week came in, coming off the bye to face Temple. So we'll see. They expect him to warm up before the game, and they'll see if he's ready to go here. UTSA at Temple laying 2 touchdowns. All right, we got the Philadelphia covered. All right, Brian, have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Definitely catch up with you on Friday. Friday. We'll catch up with you on Monday. Hopefully, it's after a big sweep of the weekend. I'm looking forward to this weekend's card for sure.
Yeah, look for that big clean sweep from Brian. A lot of action, a lot of Philly teams in action this week, so check them out. Brian Bitler, ready for the score dancing. All right, have a great night, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Tony. I'll catch you on Monday.
Catch you Monday. Brian Bitler here on The Drive. Guys, we'll recap at the end of the show. Nothing starting at the top of the hour, so we're going a little ahead. We're going a little above. We're getting a little bit more out of the cappers on the show, too. Let's continue on here. James Clark gave us West Virginia. They came through against TCU. Let's bring him in right now. James, catch him over at Pick Dodge. We're going NFL today with James. James, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. How you today, buddy?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to the weekend. The baseball playoffs coming in. We got NBA. We all got NBA preseason. Lakers and Warriors in action tomorrow night in primetime, 8:30 Eastern time. I know Dallas and Minnesota will have a day game, but there's a lot of good things to watch tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see how Colorado handles that heat in the desert. It's not a high-profile game. It'll be on Pac-12 Network. The Stars probably won't show up for that one. There won't be 9.5 million people watching that Arizona State and Colorado, so we'll see how they handle that one. But we're going across the pond here. Jaguars staying there in London. We'll be facing the Bills. I guess the Bills designated home team here in this one. I guess that's how that works here as these teams in an international game here. We see the Bills favored 5.5. The total 48.5.
Yeah, the Bills might be designated home team, but this Jaguars team, they play over here every year. They played here last week, so they really are the home team here. And if you look at these two teams, Buffalo coming off a monster win against Miami, and I look for a little bit of downfall here. I'm going with the Jags here, guys, on the money line. You might call me crazy, but no. Why is Buffalo only -5 after what they done to Miami? How Miami's been playing this year? I know the Bills were 3-1, and Jacksonville ain't played that good. They're 2-2, but like Jacksonville hasn't traveled. Jacksonville's rested. They're sitting there. I know a good Buffalo team's coming in with a good defense, but Buffalo circled the Miami game, the last game, and they got it done. So I think they come in relaxed. You see some fumbles, bad passes. I see a down Buffalo team, and I think the Jaguars take advantage of this, of the big rest that they got. Just waiting on Buffalo to come in here, and I like the Jaguars on the money line. I think they take advantage of the long trip that the Bills have, and the Bills coming off a big win.
All right, we got James here. Jaguars money line +215 here against the Bills. Yes, the Bills coming off that big win here, a divisional game here against the Miami Dolphins, really showing some really good offense. One thing to notice here with the quarterback here for the Buffalo, you're not seeing a whole lot of runs. I think they've told him, you make a lot when you have that mentality of a running back. You're gonna make some mistakes here on the field.
Yeah, and Josh Allen was bad for running the ball. He, running anytime he got a chance, he'd take off running. But he's been taking some hard hits here, late in the past couple of seasons. And I think the coaches pulled the reins back on him and said, "You find your upper man. We went out and tried, to try to get you a running back, get you to hand the ball off to him. You got Diggs. You got a few other receivers that get open. You got Knox tight end. Hit your receiver. Stay in the pocket. If you open, run out of bounds or slide. You don't take no more of them big hits." But I really do like Jacksonville here on the money line. I definitely think they cover, but I really like them on the money line. I just think the Bills come in, hyped on themselves already, jet lag from the plane ride, and I think they make some mistakes, and Jaguars take advantage. And I think Jaguars get them early in the morning on Sunday.
They'll be without defensive end Greg Rosen out here for the Bills. They got a corner here, Benford, questionable, and of course all eyes on Von Miller. But Von Miller showing to me on my injury report as being out for this one.
Yeah, I've seen that too. They're going to lose some of their key defense. If you lose Von Miller, you're losing, at least a sack and a half, 2 sacks a game, definitely. The way he's been playing. And, that's just more in the favor for Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a good team that's coming together. They got a few players that were suspended last year that's back in the fold of the play. They got some good receivers. They got a good running back, good quarterback. It's the Jacksonville team. I think they can beat the Bills, and I think they will.
All right, we got James here on the Jags here. Take them the money line +215 here against the Bills. This one here will go off on Sunday. All right, James. Of course, we got you here, so we always like to talk a little more on the college football side. We've got some games going on here. Let's see, anything before I give you a game, anything to catch your eye here on the college football board?
Well, me, the Texas game, I know y'all talked about it earlier. The Texas-Oklahoma game, I think it's going to be an awesome game. I agree with Jay. I think Texas is the best team in the nation. I think Oklahoma steps up here, and I think they at least cover. There are going to be all kinds of games. The Alabama game, Texas A&M. I know they looked awful against Miami, but I think, Alabama ain't looked that great either this season at all. They're not the Alabama team we've seen the past years. I think Texas A&M hangs in there, and I think it comes down to a late field goal on that game. And also, you got Georgia and Kentucky. I know Kentucky coming off a monster win. The Bulldogs, they're not the same Georgia team that we've seen from years. Dominated, kept people from scoring, and then they go score. I think Kentucky's got a chance in this game. I like Kentucky plus the points. I like I don't have quite a bit of plays tomorrow because I like this whole college football schedule tomorrow. I like a lot of the games tomorrow. I also like a lot of the NFL games tomorrow too.
Yeah,
I'm a big Philadelphia fan. And I'll touch a little bit on the Rams game. The Browns just went over. If you don't take the over in that game, you're crazy. Both of these teams have been throwing the ball up and down the field. I don't see much defense, especially the way they're getting cut back. There's another dynamic receiver. I know Williams plays is going to be a big deal for the Rams offense because you need that run in there for play action. But I like for both these teams to go up and down the field and score over 50. Both teams.
All right, we got James here looking for a lot of scoring in this game. A game here in the Big 12 that I think is pretty interesting here is UCF and Kansas in this one. UCF, the road favorite here, 2.5. I'm trying to see if Plumlee is going to be back in this one because he's been hurt. Plumlee is probable now. Daniel's questionable. So two quarterback situations here in this one.
Yeah, if Daniels was playing for KU, I'd probably take them because Daniels is a good quarterback, good running quarterback, throws the ball down the field, rushes, makes a lot of touchdowns. And, their backup played pretty decent last game, even though they're coming off a loss. But UCF, they're a good, tough nose defense. They'll hit you hard. So I really like I'd go UCF in this game just because of the quarterback situation. You don't know who's playing. And if neither one, if your first string quarterback Daniels can, and your second string quarterback ain't play, the next man up. You never know what they have. I don't know if Kansas is that deep in quarterback. You got the third string quarterback going up against a tough defense. I'd take UCF in this game.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels will not start in this game. That's the story. It looks like Bean gets the start, so it'll be Bean, who has had experience, but he lost to Daniels, right?
Yeah, it's true. Had the experience. No, here's his chance now. To show what you got. When Daniels come back, you may get to win the position. But I still have to go with FCU here. Kansas is a better team with Daniels under center. Got double, triple threat. He can throw it down the field. He can run it. Daniels can do a little bit of everything. Going up this UCF defense, I have to take them. I take UCF in this game.
Yeah, Plumlee has practiced all week, expected to start in this game. He hasn't. He's practiced all week with the first team. Game here, this one is a primetime game. We'll get a lot of eyeballs. Notre Dame at Louisville. We saw Notre Dame pull one out last week. Louisville didn't separate enough against NC State to cover, but they're going to be home dogs here. Notre Dame laying 6.5 right now at Louisville.
I have to go with Louisville in this game just because of their defense. I know Notre Dame's, they pulled that game out against Duke, which I think they should have lost. Duke, got tired. Defense got tired at the end, let the quarterback run for 16 yards on 4th and 16. Then right after that, they hand the ball off for a 50-yard touchdown, to win the game. But, they're going up against a little tougher defense in Louisville. But the only thing about Louisville, I'll take the points with Louisville plus 6.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think Louisville wins it, but I think they hang in there. Their offense is going to have to step up, just a little bit more. They'll have to have a better running game to open up that passing game, man. They didn't look that good against North Carolina State. North Carolina State's got a pretty tough defense, but Notre Dame, was top notch. That's why they're ranked the way they are. Their defense. I have to take Louisville on the points here. I think they hang with them. I see a field goal. I see a field goal game under a touchdown at least.
Maybe a little close one there. All right, here's a sneaky good one. It's the early start here. Maryland, Ohio State. This line has moved up from an opener of 17.5. We're seeing now Ohio State 19.5 to 19 here. We've seen in the past Maryland just folds like a tent here in this type of spot, but are they a little better now? Is 19.5 giving a little too in this game?
I don't think so. I think Ohio State dominates them. I do. I know Maryland's been playing good this year, but Ohio State's, when you're going up against different players, like Ohio State has, like, the Alabama players, we got players behind players of four-star all athletes, and I just think Ohio State is a better team. From top to bottom, I think they run over Maryland here, and I think they proved the point. Ohio State's a good team too, with the talents that they have, and I think Maryland don't have a chance in this game, in my opinion.
Coming down to toughness, right? The word toughness, Lou Holtz puts that in there. Interesting game where people seem to be loving this Washington State team. Washington State at UCLA, it sits at 3.5. I'm telling you, there's a heat wave here in Southern California. This is going to be a noon. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a noon Eastern game. I was leaning Washington State, but when we hit this heat wave in the mid 90s, it gets really hot in UCLA. UCLA is closer to the mountains. Pasadena is a good distance from the ocean, so it gets really hot there. So a lot of hot weather in this one here. UCLA home laying 3 against Washington State.
I gotta go Washington State, Tony. Here, Washington State has showed me, they're a good team. The Cougars have played really good this season, and I think they come. I think UCLA is a good team also, but I think it's going to be a close, tough game. Washington's defense this year, I think it's what made them better. They have stepped up. Sacking the quarterback. They've also scored a lot of points too this season. I look for them to go up and down the field. I just like Washington State plus 3.5 because I think it's going to be a field goal game, and I think the hook is what gets them. It was 3.5, right?
Yeah, 3.5. Cameron Ward against that freshman quarterback for UCLA. We'll see how the heat factors. This is a noon local time. And that's what got me nervous about this game is that we're getting a heat wave out here in SoCal. It's impacting that Colorado-Arizona State game. We're looking at close to 100-degree temperatures when that kicks off, 3:30 local time in Tempe. We're seeing Colorado down to 3.5 against Arizona State.
Yeah, Colorado, Jay touched on this game. I like Colorado here too myself. I just think Colorado's got a better offense. They as you say, they give up a ton of points. This game will go way over, too. I think both teams go up and down the field. But I think at the end of the day, Colorado wins it by a touchdown or more. I just think, they played a lot better competition. And, last week, they come back. Like Jay said, it probably was against second string. But, they come back. They kept fighting. They showed that toughness that they didn't want to quit. And I just think Colorado gets them another win here after getting beat by 2 ranked teams back-to-back. I really like Colorado here against Arizona State.
Here we go. We'll close it off with this one. SEC battle between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Ole Miss opened 11. They're now up to 12.5, 13. We see a total 61.5.
Give me Arkansas on the points. Tell me if Arkansas hasn't played the toughest schedule in the nation, Tony. Coming back to, top teams. It looks like every weekend they're playing the top 10 teams. Now here you got another top 15 teams. Ole Miss is a good team. They will move the ball, but Arkansas is a tough team too. Their run game is very tough. They can score points in bunches. They've hung in there with about every team they play. Last week, they had a little down week. I look for them to bounce back tonight or bounce back tomorrow and hang with Ole Miss give me the 12.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ole Miss back to back here. Some difficult games, right? You got what, Alabama and LSU, right? And now you're looking at Arkansas. Kind of a tough schedule and spot for them.
Yes, even like you said, Ole Miss tough schedule out. Like you said, Alabama, and Arkansas here a tough team. The record don't show how good they are. This Arkansas team is really good. It's just the teams they played. They've played better teams. I really like Arkansas on the points here. I think both teams still scored a lot of points because both of these offenses are really good. I don't see much defense in this game, but I see it being within the number here, 12. Give me Arkansas plus 12.5.
Well, we'll go one more. We've seen money come on the home dog here. Michigan opened 19.5, now 18.5 in some places against Minnesota.
Give me Michigan minus 19. They finally covered one last week. Michigan did. That's the first ATS cover last week. Everybody was on Nebraska. Thought, hey, here, Nebraska's going to hang in there with them. Michigan blew them off the field, and I look for the same thing here in Minnesota. This Minnesota team ain't that good. Michigan's defense, man, is stout. Now, I don't think Minnesota scores. If they score 10 points, it'll surprise me. I see Michigan going up and down the field and just blowing them out. I really like Michigan minus 19. I say they win by 27.
Man, Minnesota can't recruit quarterbacks. I mean, they just can't recruit. I mean, it's just horrible. Bad quarterback play has been, with this Minnesota team. I mean, can't you get some scouts out to California? Can you get them to Florida? Can you get some quarterbacks to Minnesota?
They need to get some Michigan. And be one of the top defenses in the nation from what I've seen so far. And I see a lot of interceptions, a lot of sacks, and a lot of touchdowns for Michigan at the end of the day here.
All right, first game starts in about 15 minutes today in college football. So, James, let's take a look over at pick.com. Of course, James's pick on record, Jaguars money line plus 215 against the Bills. All right, James, let's take a look over at pick.com for tonight's action. Look at the baseball numbers from James. 1,545 minutes of private Major League Baseball. All documented over at pick.com. You can verify those numbers simply by going to James's handicapper page. Go down to pick history. You'll find everything there. All right, James, and college football today, but heading to a huge weekend of action. What do you have going over at the site?
I just got one play tonight. One college football play that I really love. It's my 10-star college football game. Get that, guys, and after we win, got a big weekend coming up. You got baseball. You got college football. You got NFL. A monster weekend coming up of plays, and I'm going to have quite a few plays. So get that 3-pack, guys. If you get that 3-pack now, you'll end up getting the Monday night game. I put it in early so you can get it. So you'll get the Monday night football game. But, get that. Get ready to get back hot again. Pretty good in college football right now. I'm 27-17 with a 60% winning percentage. You can check that out on Pick Dogs. It'll show you I'm plus 580 units or 75, something like that units. But I'm plus 500 units. But like I say every time we're on a show, guys, we got the best cappers in the world, and we do by far. So team me up with any of the cappers you see on the show or on the site. We'll put some money in your pockets.
That's right, guys. Got to James Rock over at Pick Dodgeman having a champion Major League Baseball season. You see the numbers, 1,545 minutes of prop in Major League Baseball. The divisional series begin with all 4 games tomorrow. Get on board. James got plays for tonight from college football. But again, you guys love that 3-day pass here on the weekend. They get the plays from James Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll get spill into Monday as well. A lot of the baseball coverage, NFL, college football. Use that promo code PICKIT. Check out, save that 15% off. You can also add multi-cappers with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. And of course, if you're thinking about longer, remember that 1-month pass covers the NBA because the NBA starts in a little bit more than 2 weeks. NBA preseason started yesterday, continued tomorrow. A game in primetime tomorrow featuring the Warriors and the Lakers, but LeBron James will not play in this game.
No, probably a lot of your top players won't play in this game, but it's getting close to NBA season. And if y'all been following Pick Dogs, y'all know from day one I stepped on Pick Dogs. The NBA has been good to me, and I look for it to be good again to me this year. So really loving the NBA coming up in, about 17 days, Tony?
Yep, 17 days.
Season.
Yep. We see the countdown on NBA TV. They have the exact countdown clock right now when it starts. So looking, it's
going to be an awesome NBA season. Big trade with Damian Lillard. For the trade deadline ends, you never know what may happen. Harden wants to go somewhere, so you never know what's going to happen. The Suns look like they got a good team. Lakers look like they got a good team. We know Milwaukee's got a good team. Boston getting Thru the other day. That defense is going to be tough. They got the scoring. You got veterans with young teams. Boston looks like they're going to be good. I'm very excited for the NBA season this year.
Miami, right? Miami with that big run last
year.
Remember that? That was some run, right?
Yeah. Yes, Miami, underdogs. If you told me Miami before the playoffs, and I'm a big NBA guy, if you would told me before the playoffs Miami would have made it to the final, I told you crazy because of the way they didn't play. But they got hot, and boom, there it was, in the finals. And, one player away. That's why they was trying to get Damian Lillard to Miami. That's what Miami is. They're just one player away. But they let a big key guy go to the Lakers. He's starting to get trying. I cannot remember his name right the top of my head. But he played good for him in the regular in the playoffs, but the Lakers ended up signing him. You know what I'm talking about, Tony?
Oh, good. That name escapes me. I'm just thinking of Juzang, their draft. Miami had some good draft picks coming in. Maybe that's why.
They did have some good draft picks. They did, and they're still looking for that one player. Butler and Bam, good teammates. They play good. But if you come to Miami, you're going to come to work and be tough. You ain't going to be soft. If you're going to be soft, you're going to leave. Butler ain't going to put up with it. Pat Riley ain't going to put up with it. So they're looking for a hard-nosed, tough D place. And tell me if 2 years ago Philadelphia didn't mess up letting Butler go.
Oh my God.
What a team they would have had if they would have kept Butler. Man, they could have been in the finals last year. So
they tanked so
it's
much.
Be
they tanked so much just to get into the picture, and now they can't handle success. That's really what it is.
Actually, yeah, they can't. They're end up losing. I'd say Harden are going to go somewhere. Embiid's been talking about leaving, and man, if they leave, they lose Embiid. Man, that franchise will go down. They'll start from scratch again, all back over trying to get a draft pick. They done everything they could to get Embiid and get a bunch of draft picks, and then here they are getting ready to lose.
The question with the Heat is the regular season, right? They didn't put a whole lot in the regular season, and they kind of saved it for the playoffs. Is that kind of what we're going to do? Or is there going to be a lot of point spread value going against Miami early on?
I think so because of some of the talent they lost. I know they done good in draft, but they lost some key players that helped them make that finals run. And I do see some 8 or 10 point spreads against definitely some of these bigger name teams. But Miami's defense is tough enough to hang in there with anybody, keep anybody under 100, 110. They showed last year, and I think they can do it again this year.
How does Denver handle being the 100 now?
Here we go. Denver finally get him a championship. Joker's coming. I don't think they do very good this year. I think they have a good season, but I don't see them back in the championship. I think they're comfortable with the first championship. I think that they'll be relaxed a little bit more. I think a lot of teams is going to be gunning for them to try to beat them. I see them finishing third or fourth in the West here, and then maybe next year they're like, hey, we let this season slip away. Then next year they keep the same talent until they got. I think they come back. Not this year, but I see the Nuggets back next year.
Do you see them making if they don't make the finals? If they don't make the finals, who from the West will dethrone them?
I think it may be either the Warriors or the Lakers. I know 2 old teams, but I think the Lakers, they've come out and got these picks. They've got some shooters around LeBron now, and I think that's what they need. If you look, I'm not a big Lakers fan. I'm just going by sports and just just capping the games. But I think the Lakers got. If you see that championship they won a few years back, they had shooters around LeBron. And that's what they're doing now. They're getting shooters around LeBron. I can see the Lakers going to the finals.
Yep, and of course it's so funny when someone picks the Lakers, you always have to put that in. I'm not a Lakers fan.
I'm not. I was a Kobe fan, but I never loved. I was always a Chicago Bulls fan with Jordan, and I was always a Bulls fan. But
the ball situation there is tough. Of course, Sacramento's the team that made some noise last year. We'll see how they handle. They finally got the coaching right and the culture right over there in Sacramento.
I think that's another tough team here in Sacramento. I think, they're just going to keep on the rise here. They had a good season last year. Not really a surprise season, but
a big trade with Indiana, right? The big trade with Indiana.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes. That Sabonis helped them so much, man. He's not a real big center, but, he does everything. He gets you rebounds, he gets you points, he gets you, passes. And they got good shooters around them. Fox is awesome point guard. I really like Sacramento. And also Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes.
Man, I think I look for them to be up on the rise this year, too. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Gibby, a few young players that they have. I look for them to have a better season than they did last year.
They need a little help off the bench. They need some of the supporting cast to deliver, because when their big guys are off, the team collapses. They get embarrassed. So they need a little bit more supporting cast around them. I will tell you this. Whenever the Warriors play the Kings, you better watch this game, because there's a lot of heat over there between these teams. Sabonis, Draymond Green, call him a dirty player. There's a lot of bad blood in the Bay Area between these two teams.
Yes, and I can't wait. I love to see a playoff. Them come, in the playoffs have to face each other again. And you'll see it in the regular season. It'll be like the first game will be like the playoff games, because all the trash talking and they don't want to beat each other, and it's going to be a really good game. And Draymond has no reason to call him a dirty player. If it's coming from Steph or Clay, maybe, but Draymond, one of the dirtiest players they are in the game, does anything he can to get in your head, on your back, whatever he can. So Draymond has no reason to talk about Sabonis. Sabonis is a big guy. Yeah, he might elbow hit you in the face. He's a tough-nosed guy. Just get over it.
You ever see his father play? Did you see his father play? Was before your time?
Yes. No, I did get to see his father play. And what a beast, he didn't get his dad's height, but man, his dad was a beast inside, tall. I did get to see him play probably 2 seasons. I got to see him at the later end of his season. He still was dominant, as big as he was. Then he formed that outside shot, man. Tell me, for a big guy back in that day, big guys didn't shoot like they do now.
No.
And he was one of the. He could knock down a three. He was a good pure shooter as a big guy, and that was uncommon back then.
Yeah, not common at all. Actually, the only one in my lifetime I can remember was back in the old Sun Center, Alvin Adams. He was real skinny, but he was one of the first that I saw that could actually make jump shots. Dan Issel was another one. Sikma was another one, but there weren't too many. And, of course, along the lines of Sabonis, the tough guy, of course, you see his son playing hurt, right? You see him on the injury report, questionable. He was always playing. And he had some – he's a tough guy, and you can tell he's got the Sabonis blood in him. All right, James, it's great having you on the show. Thanks for this segment. Great conversation. College football, NBA. The games begin in about 6 minutes now, so we're going to let you go. Get on board with James's 3-pack. He's been doing great work in baseball. Get all the picks here from James. All right, James, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, Tony. Appreciate you having me on the show, buddy, and I'll see you Monday, buddy.
See you Monday. James Cock here on the drive-through. All right, let's continue on. We'll get to the recap. Guys, the games don't start for another 6 minutes, so we kind of extended the segment here today. We got the cappers where we get them some plays from college football, some NFL. We got into the NBA. We're kind of that time of the year here where we've got to really study these games, and the cappers doing their hard work here, getting ready for the start of the new NBA season. Of course, got you some college football in there as well. Extended segments here on the drive-through here. As we don't get started here in about 5 minutes, let's get to my. That was Jovan. Okay, that was not supposed to be my number, but maybe not. Let me get to my game here. We're going to go with the college football here for Saturday's action here. TCU and Iowa State going head-to-head in this one, and I'll be looking here at the dog, Iowa State here, plus the 6.5 here against TCU. TCU, we've seen some drop-off on this team. Already a couple of losses. We saw that game against Colorado. which didn't really go their way. It was not a very good look for them defensively. And then their offensive had some woes there against West Virginia last week. And we saw a little bit of uptick here from this Iowa State offense that we've been looking for from this Iowa State team. And I think there's enough there for them to get this cover against a TCU team that's already covered their second loss. There will not be a playoff for them this year. Already 2 losses in conference. So we're going to be looking. Actually, I do have this. Let me pick up my notes real quick on this game here. Iowa State, they did run the ball against Oklahoma for 150 yards. And, of course, they got a little bit of offense out of Rocco Beck for 108 yards passing. Issue here for the Horned Frogs is their pass defense. And they're giving up 13.4 yards per completion, 7.5 yards per pass attempt. So we'll take the points here with Iowa State here against the TCU Horned Frogs. This one here, Fox Sports 2, relegated to that network at 8 Eastern time. All right, guys, over at Pick Dodge. We've got my best bet on the board tonight here from college football. Hit the best bets last couple of nights, so go ahead and get on board. Number 2, documenting college football. I always have my long-term passes, my 3, 7, or 3-day all sports pass. Get all my pre and plays for that time period just select. When you go over to my handicapper page and make that purchase, remember the promo code PICK at checkout, you'll save that 15% off. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-through. Let's get to the recap. We're about 5 minutes away from the start of college football here for our Friday. Jay got it started. Rangers plus 105 to win the ALDS against the Orioles. Jovan was on Briggs minus 175 here to win ALDS against the Phillies. Brian was on the Rams plus 4 against the Eagles. James says take the Jaguars money line, the plus 215 against the Bills. I'll take the plus 6.5 here. The home underdog Iowa State against TCU. Which one do I like the most? The one I would say the most there would be, let's figure out with Jay with that offense, Rangers plus the 105 against the O's. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition here of the drive-thru. Be sure to tune again Monday live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all again. We'll bring our cappers here from Pick Dogs. Go at the place for you here in prime time. We'll have baseball on the board then. Of course, we'll have a place here for you on NFL. We may also have some opening on NHL. NHL begins Tuesday, so maybe we could sneak in some plays there for you there on the Monday night show. So make sure you guys tune in. Also, remember, it always gets started here with the morning show on Saturday. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You got Jay, of course, with Mitch will be there. We'll have Chris. You'll see a lot of the cappers from the drive-thru giving out plays for you from the big Saturday card from college football, some MLB in there as well. And, of course, don't forget Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. The betting tool shows. There's roundtable discussions with the professionals. Of course, Chris will become ready to roll with his NHL rundown next week. Jay with his NFL rundown. Romanelli with his baseball rundown and college football rundown. So lots of content here. Nick Mencken, Nerfies, Jerfies. We got Mike Davis live shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, his first 5. So get those here for the playoffs. And, of course, we got the parlay videos from Brad Francis. We've got the boxing rundown here from the Punch Dog, Wayne Scott. Mills with his parlay, with his prop videos, as well as his MMA UFC rundown. Mills there covering Bellator this weekend. Of course, we'll have the UFC picks up there as well from Mills, Big Al McMorty, all access plays from him. Check out his video up there today. Getting ready for a big weekend from Big Al McMorty. Lots of content, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications. So when these videos drop, you get them right away to get the best numbers. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. See Ramon in there. Great Stay Real in there as well. Dennis Sarow, Ty Clinton in there. Nick Beats Vegas, James Thrower in there, ready to roll here. Helpful with his commentary. Harold Barnwell as well. Sports Spins in there. So great contributions here from the chat today. Lando86 in the room. We've seen Blake. Shout out to Blake. Randy C. Darren Ron in there as well. He likes the over in the Braves game. 7.5 over there. John Stewart in there. Liking some dogs there as well. And, of course, Will Horton in there from Louisville. He lives in Louisville. He doesn't like the Louisville pick. He likes Notre Dame in that one. All right. That's going to do it here for the show, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Let's go ahead and